N-Y-Y-S-T.
Holla, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas.
Welcome back. This is episode 505 of the NYYST podcast. We're here live on NYY Underground. I am your host, Christian, and I'm by myself tonight. Good thing we had a little bit of a delay in the start of the show, or else things could have got really interesting. Sem's a little under the weather, as is pretty much everybody that I know right now. I've been dealing with a sick household all week. Now he's sick. Chris was dealing with some sickness in his house too. I don't know. I don't know what these kids are carrying. You know, these snot-nosed kids, you know, bringing home these germs. It's not good. It's 2 weeks before Christmas. We don't need to, you know, we don't need to have the holiday ruined. The Yankees are doing a good enough job of that on their own here, as the winter meetings concluded earlier in the week, and Yankees came home with nothing in their hands. A whole lot of nothing from the New York Yankees at the winter meetings. Apparently, they're in on everybody and signed nobody. So Corey Seager, they like Cody Bellinger, they like this guy, they like that guy, but nothing. Nothing has happened with the Yankees. It's not like nothing's happened. Kyle Schwarber re-signed with the Phillies. The Mets have undergone a complete facelift with Edwin Diaz in LA now, and Pete Alonso's in the division. Now he's a Baltimore Oriole. Robert Suarez is a Brave. So things have happened. Just nothing has happened for the Yankees. And as we sit here 2 weeks before Christmas, it's just a lot of silent nights for the New York Yankees. And are the Yankees going to actually improve this ball club here? Because you're hearing talk from Brian Cashman that he wants to give the great strategist in Aaron Boone some maneuverability with this roster, which, you know, means that he wants to bring in some platoon players, which is fine. The problem with the way the Yankees operate is that you can't take things in the context of what they really mean, because they're giving you an incomplete puzzle, right? So you're sitting here saying he wants to give Aaron Boone more options, you know, so to have some maneuverability. This team is extremely left-handed. We all know that. With Anthony Volpe out, you know, if the Yankees decide that Oswaldo Cabrera is going to be the starting shortstop instead of Jose Caballero, the Yankees have one right-handed hitter in the lineup. He's the best right-handed hitter on the face of the earth, but he's still the only right-handed hitter in the lineup. Wells is a lefty, Rice is a lefty, Jazz is a lefty, McMahon's a lefty, Grisham's a lefty, and then it's either Dominguez, who can only hit left-handed, and or Spencer Jones left-handed, or if they bring back Bellinger, left-handed. You have one right-handed hitter in this friggin' lineup. So yeah, bringing a guy like Ahmed Rosario back does make a ton of sense. I liked Ahmed Rosario. I wanted the Yankees to go and get Ahmed Rosario last offseason to supplement this roster. But when you're hearing things like Plan B last year was Max Fried and Cody Bellinger. Plan B this year is Ahmed Rosario in a platoon with Jason Dominguez. I mean, what are we talking about here? This is why fans are getting frustrated. If you're talking about the context of bringing in a guy like Ahmed Rosario to fill out the roster, maybe platoon at third base with Ryan McMahon, maybe platoon with Jazz at second base if there's a tough lefty, or if Cody doesn't come back and you stick him out there in left field occasionally, I don't have an issue with that. But what you're looking at here is the Yankees without a big offensive maneuver, okay? The Yankees, as currently constructed, and people get mad every time I say this, but the 40 guys on this roster, add them all together, they do not equal a postseason team. Not even with the expanded playoff system. I don't think the Yankees, as currently constructed, don't make the postseason in 2026. Okay, call me a pessimist. That's fine. I don't really care at this point because you look at this team. You know, you're going to get Rodon back April, Mayish. You're going to get Cole back a little bit further on. You got Schlittler. You got Warren. You got Fried. You got Heel. You got the starting pitching, right? That's not going to be an issue for the Yankees in 2026. You got Bednar. Where are you filling out the rest of this bullpen here? I like Camilo Duvall. Is he going to be able to settle down even more and be a premier setup guy? Have the Yankees proctored Fernando Cruz to the point where he is not a premier setup guy anymore? And then you got Timmy Hill, but where's the rest of your bullpen coming from? Are the Yankees going to gas this bullpen out early in the season? That could be a problem. So then you look at this offense here. Jazz Chisholm is now stepped up to the guys currently on this roster. Jazz Chisholm is now stepped up to be the second best player on this team offensively. And that's a huge problem. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of you like Jazz Chisholm more than I do. But if I'm the general manager of the New York Yankees, if I got picked up today and dropped off at 161st Avenue and to be the general manager of the New York Yankees, and the Yankees said to me, do what you want here, I'm making phone calls. Who wants Jazz Chisholm? And reports have come out today that the Yankees are listening on Jazz Chisholm. They should do more than listen on Jazz Chisholm, okay? I'm sorry to say that. I know a lot, again, I know a lot of you like Jazz a lot more than I like Jazz, and that's perfectly fine. The talent is there, the allure is there, and I see everything that you see, but I don't think you guys see what I see. And that Jazz Chisholm is not a winning baseball player. Jazz Chisholm recognized what the problem was last year when he came back from the injury, and he said the whole 70% thing, and fans took it as that he was just going to give 70% effort. No, it means that he doesn't need to swing for the fences all the time and get on base and be a more productive player in that scenario. But, you know, when push comes to shove, Jazz Chisholm thinks he's Barry Bonds. And as I've said numerous times on this show, Jazz Chisholm is not the best version of Jazz Chisholm when he's trying to be a 35 home run hitter. Jazz Chisholm can hit 20 to 25 home runs being a lefty hitter with his talent at Yankee Stadium in his sleep. And we as Yankee fans shouldn't want or need more from Jazz Chisholm than that. What Jazz Chisholm needs to do is he needs to get on base on a higher clip and use his speed and athleticism to generate runs. And I said this to somebody earlier today. Could you imagine Jazz Chisholm, if he was able to get on base at even a 34% clip and hit around 260, 270, and was more selective at the plate? Could you imagine that version of Jazz Chisholm where the Yankees would be able to realistically put him in the leadoff spot and that Jazz Chisholm hitting in front of Aaron Judge? Could you imagine that Jazz Chisholm? I don't know if that Jazz Chisholm exists or if he wants to exist. And that's part of the reason why I want to trade Jazz Chisholm. Because I think that's a problem. I think his approach at the plate is a problem for this team. Too many strikeouts in big situations. For years, we've had lineups littered with those types of guys, and Jazz Chisholm just happens to be another guy that happens to. Okay. Also, another reason why I'm looking to trade Jazz Chisholm is because of the market. And what do you mean? What because of the market? Well, there's a guy that a lot of people don't think is a long-term shortstop who can plug your hole there for the first month of the season and then can be your second baseman. He's one of the best offensive players in Major League Baseball. He's also right-handed for a team, as I just outlined to all of you, has one right-handed hitter in the everyday lineup to start the season. His name is Bo Bichette. There's absolutely no reason why the New York Yankees should not be in on Bo Bichette in 2026. There's zero reason why. He fixes so many of your problems. He's not a good offensive player. He's a great offensive player. He's a guy that consistently hits over 300. Every year that he's been healthy, he hits over 300 or damn near close to it. He's one of the elite offensive players in baseball. He is right-handed. We have no right-handed hitters. I get it. Short porch, you want lefty sluggers? You don't need any more with a team that's got this many. Okay? You don't need any more. Any weakens one of your biggest rivals. You take him away from the Toronto Blue Jays. You stick him in your lineup. You pair him with Aaron Judge. Oh, money, money, money. He's going to call. So what? Why do I care what the Yankees pay for players? I've been telling you guys this for years, for a long time here. The Yankees are not lowering ticket prices if they lower payroll. The Yankees are not lowering concession prices if they lower payroll. So let's go out there and spend this money. The Yankees are worth $10 billion. We can afford Bo Bichette. And if you're making me choose between Cody Bellinger and Bo Bichette, it's not a question what I'm doing. I'm trading Jazz Chisholm and I'm signing Bo Bichette and I'm putting him in the middle of this lineup. And if you want to get nuts here, Batman, Michael Keaton, 1980, let's get nuts. Let's get Cody Bellinger too. What's stopping the Yankees from getting Cody Bellinger and Bo Bichette? We went through the entire winter meetings without the Yankees even making a peep. What'd they do today? Signed some minor leaguer with a 4+ ERA to maybe make the team out of spring training as a reliever? That's what they've done so far. Re-signed Ryan Yarbrough. Great. Again, take things into context. I like bringing back Ryan Yarbrough. He fills in a role. But when he's been the second biggest thing you've done all offseason following a year where you got knocked out in the division series, it's not good enough. When everybody around you has gotten better. Yes, I made a video on TikTok the other day, and please follow us on TikTok at NYYST Podcast, where I said the Red Sox have gotten better. How'd the Red Sox get better? Well, say what you want about Sonny Gray, but sticking him in your rotation does make you better. He's been a very good pitcher everywhere he's went, except for in the Bronx, okay? So you sticking him in your rotation makes you better. The Orioles have gotten better. They got a closer in Ryan Helsley now. They got Pete Alonso, who the Yankees are two left-handed. Why are we not in on Pete Alonso? He's a goofball. He's not great defensively. He's going to hit you 35 home runs from the right side. He's a legitimate power threat in this lineup. Again, Pete Alonso, find a lefty to stick in the middle there. Bang. I'm sorry, I forgot about Giancarlo Stanton as being the other right-handed hitter. But, as Aaron Boone said, he finished the season beat up. So the jury remains out on Giancarlo Stanton and when and if he'll be ready for spring training. I love G. I hate knocking him, but I'm tired. It's come to a point here now where this is something the Yankees should be trying to remedy here, and that's finding a team that would be willing to take Giancarlo Stanton off your hands for the final 2 years of his contract. Because, as I said, you don't just dump him. You can't because he's got the no trade, but you don't shop him around to teams that have no chance of winning because he's not going to accept a trade there. You go find a mid-level team that needs a little star power that's close to potentially being a playoff team, and that's who you trade him to. And you tell him, listen, you don't really have a role here anymore. We love you. Thank you for everything. Playoff God, we bow at the altar of Giancarlo Stanton, but you don't really have a role here anymore. Go chase 500 in Cleveland or in Detroit, maybe somewhere, or send them out to the National League. I can't believe that Boomer Esiason is the co-host of the number one rated sports radio talk show in the country, and he actually had the idea of convincing Giancarlo Stanton to waive his no trade clause and package him with Volpe to get Fernando Tatis Jr. Yeah, wouldn't we all love to do that? But in what world is that even a realistic possibility that something would happen there? So that's something. Again, you're looking at this roster, and you want to say that what can be done, what should be done. Well, you know what? You want to take a look across town at the Mets here and what the Mets are doing or not doing. Well, they wanted Edwin Diaz back, and it was, they had wiggle room. He took the Dodgers offer. Fine. Okay. They replaced him with Devin Williams. That's a downgrade, in my opinion. And it should, I don't know. You guys can argue with me on that one. I don't think anybody listening to me is going to really argue with me on that one, that Edwin Diaz to Devin Williams is a downgrade there. But you can see that they're trying to change the clubhouse. They're trying to change the culture of that team. There was a lot of reports coming out that these guys did not get along, and that contributed to their bad season last year. Soto and Lindor didn't get along. We know Lindor and McNeil were choking each other in the dugout 2 years ago. And now they one of the longest tenured Mets, Nimmo, was traded to get Simeon here, who's a great clubhouse guy. And they never really actively engaged Pete Alonso, who is their all-time home run leader. So they're trying to change the core of this team. They're trying to change the culture of this team. What are the Yankees doing? What are the Yankees doing to change the core of their team? What are the Yankees doing to change the culture of their team? There's things that can be done here. And I'm looking at trade. You know what? Jazz Chisholm's not a bad baseball player. People will want Jazz Chisholm. People will want Jazz Chisholm on a 1-year deal. And you can get things back for Jazz Chisholm that will help your ball club. You don't mean to tell me, even if you want to say, if I'm lowballing this, that you can get a really effective setup guy for Jazz Chisholm in a 1-year deal to stick in there with Bednar and Camilo Duvall and bring in Bo Bichette? That doesn't change the culture, that doesn't change the core of this team? It absolutely does. We don't even hear the Yankees a sniff around Bo Bichette. It's criminal that the Yankees are not even sniffing around Bo Bichette. They had it. It's one of the most obvious things to me. And again, we've always said smarter Yankees on this podcast. And it's so smart, but the Yankees are being the Yankees here, and it's not even like a thought in their mind. And if I checked out social media after hearing it, and it said that the Yankees signed Bo Bichette, I'd actually have to like jump off the building to see if I flew, because that's how unbelievable it would be to me that they would sign Bo Bichette. You might not like Alex Bregman. I don't really like Alex Bregman. So I'm not so much on that one, because you could say trade Ryan McMahon, but I don't think Ryan McMahon is as tradable as Jazz Chisholm is. And that's another reason why I'm looking really at second base here. You're Ryan McMahon at 2 years and 16 per for a guy that strikes out at a 30% clip is not as movable as Jazz Chisholm, who is a 30-30 guy. So that, again, I'm looking. The Yankees are stale right now. That's what the problem. This is a stale baseball team. So as much as in a second here, I'm going to talk about Cody Bellinger, and as much as that I want him back here, that you can bring back Cody Bellinger and still make a significant move like this that will change the culture of this team. Or, you know what? And here's the other big rumor that we can talk about here. And apparently Texas doesn't want to take any of the money, and they want to be blown away. So that basically tells you that no deal is going to happen. But the Yankees are one of 3 teams, including the Red Sox, that have checked in on Corey Seager. You want to talk about changing the culture, changing the core of the team? How about telling Anthony Volpe you're not the shortstop anymore? And I get it, that Seager is left-handed, so it doesn't really solve that problem. But Corey Seager coming in here, being the shortstop, and then moving Anthony Volpe over to second base, that changes the culture. That changes the core of his team. That puts a lot of people on notice. But again, there's a lot of cons with Corey Seager. He is owed $30 million a year for the next 6 years. He's a guy that has averaged 100 games played over the last 8 seasons. So he misses a lot of time. You want to talk about clutch? You want to talk about proven playoff performers? That's Corey Seager. So are you willing to sacrifice 60 games during the course of the season to get a guy that you know is going to show out in October? These are things that the Yankees, you're looking at the infield and moves that the Yankees can make that could shake up this team a little bit here. And if it comes at the expense of Jazz Chisholm, sorry. What if the Yankees won with Jazz Chisholm? I know some smart ass will inevitably say, what if the Yankees won with Aaron Judge? Is one guy the best player in the world? Yeah, he is. And is one guy that still has not learned to evolve his game? Yeah, that's that's also true. I would love honestly the biggest swing the Yankees should take all off season here is Fernando Tatis Jr. That's the you really want to show you're the Yankees and shake things up here and put everybody on notice that the Yankees are back. You put something in front of AJ Preller that he can't say no to. Fernando Tatis Jr. is the answer. 26 years old. You can play him in the outfield. You can play him at shortstop, right-handed. That contract is going to age like wine with how good this guy is. The only thing that would scare me about Tatis Jr. is not Dom. It's not Spencer Jones. It's not. I don't want to trade. I do not want to trade Cam Schlittler. And you know it's going to take Cam Schlittler to get that deal done. I Heel, Warren, name anybody else in that minor league system. George Lombard. I don't really care. I'd send 10 of them over there to get Fernando Tatis Jr. And you know what? Call me crazy. I don't really care because I'm sick of losing. I'm sick of the Yankees not winning world championships. Okay. I'm sick and tired of this being the case that every year I got to come on here and talk about what the Yankees need to do to win a world championship instead of sitting here and being happy for 2, 3, 4 months about winning a friggin' championship and then looking forward to the next season. Because right now, what are we looking forward to? As a Yankee fan, what are we really looking forward to? The development of Cam Schlittler, which I love the kid, don't get me wrong. But if that's the number one thing on your priority list or of things that you're looking forward to here, that means Brian Cashman has failed miserably in this offseason. That's what that means. If you're really concerned about saying, "Oh, I'm looking forward to Cam Schlittler's development," which I think we all are, but it should be number one, how this team is just going to dominate because of the team that the Yankees have put together this year. You know, and Robert Murray's reporting that the Yankees are throwing all this out to free agents and trades, and nobody's taking them seriously with these offers. It could be Cashman playing a game to see what comes back and then working from there. He's not going to outbid himself. But also, if he's just doing things to do things to make it seem like he's active, why? And I said this last week, like, Hal's got to know that this fan base is not excited right now. The Yankees have to know that the fan base is not excited right now. It's got to be a good 10 years since the Yankee fans have been this unexcited going into the season. That's why the winter meetings were so important for the Yankees. It was all right in front of them. Do something. We talked about all the things the Yankees have done in the winter meetings leading up to this one. So that's why it made me think that the Yankees were at least going to make some type of maneuver here because they usually are active at the winter meetings. But they did nothing. Silent nights. We all know the Christmas Silent Night. That's what it was. Everything refresh, 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 and then you see Schwarber signs. Oh, the Yankees are going to do something now. Nothing. Diaz, Yankees do nothing. Suarez, Yankees do nothing. Alonso, Yankees do nothing. You thought the dominoes were going to start falling here for the Yankees to do something, and nothing's been done. And yeah, I know it's December 11th, and there's still time, and Tucker and Bellinger and Imai and Michael. Yeah, great. And Seager's not great. Awesome. But the Yankees need to be active here. Why are we sitting around and and just waiting for shit to happen here? We got David Hennig here with the super chat. Thank you, David. Tatis is the culture change we need. He'll bring what Soto brought us. I love it. I would love Fernando Tatis is the big swing here. That's the move you have to go out there and make. You know they want to get out from under some of these contracts. And yeah, it's probably Bogarts, it's probably Machado, older players on the downside. But no, don't take their bad contracts. Give them everything they want. This is the guy. Ben Rice Ben Rice is a legitimate 30 home run guy. I love Ben Rice. Do I think there's holes in his game? Yeah, I do. I don't. I right now, from what I've seen, Ben Rice, I don't think he's ever going to be more than a 240, 250 hitter. There's a lot of holes in that swing. The guy can turn around a fastball. We all know that. And I think he got legitimate 35 home run power. I also think he's a guy that has no true set position. It's going to be, the Yankees are going to have to bring in somebody that can play defensive to play first base at late in games here. It's going to be a little scary, trying to protect their 1-1 lead with Ben Rice at first base. He's okay. He's adequate. He did an admirable job there for the Yankees last year. But he's not somebody I really trust there. But yeah, Fernando Tatis Jr. That's the move. Bo Bichette, that's the move. Those are two moves the Yankees be all in on something here. But realistically, what the Yankees are doing is waiting to see if they can get a coupon for Cody Bellinger. And when his agent is Scott Boras, those coupons, not even that they expired, they never got printed. And if somebody goes out there and drops 7 years on Cody Bellinger, he's not going to be a Yankee. And I saw all the discourse yesterday from this thing that was floating around online here that let me get to this other super chat from David. Thank you. If we can't get Tatis, we should get Peralta and Akamoto and bullpen help. Yeah, Freddie Peralta is a name that's out there for the Yankees. And why are the Yankees in on Freddie Peralta? Is it because he had a sub-3 ERA last year and he was one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball? No. I'm sure that has something to do with it. But why are the Yankees really in on Freddie Peralta? He's cheap. Makes $8 million. He's for poor people, which the Yankees think they are. But they're not. We all know the Yankees aren't poor. That's why they're looking at Freddie Peralta. They're not looking at I'll tell you the hierarchy of reasons why the Yankees want Freddie Peralta. Cheap and then good. It's not good and then it's a bonus that he's cheap. It's cheap. That's why the Yankees want Freddie Peralta. If Freddie Peralta was making $22 million this year, guess what the Yankees wouldn't be doing? Calling Milwaukee about Freddie Peralta. And I think we all know that. And I'd love to take Freddie Peralta. But as my boy Francis here from Designated Spitters said in a group chat yesterday, why not get Ime just for the money? Why give up the prospect capital? Which is a very it's a rational point, which I do agree with, but something that Joel Sherman said. Let's talk about that. We were going to talk about Cody. We'll get to Cody Bellinger in a second, I promise. Joel Sherman said that there are people, not just the Yankees, that believe Ime is a third starter. That's what he's going to max out at, but he's going to command ace money. Again, the Yankees aren't poor. Who cares, right? But you could see when you're trying to build a team, do you want to give ace money to a guy that's a third starter that's going to want a third starter money? Now, Ime is talking a big game here, and it's kind of making me really want this guy even more than I did in the past because he said he didn't want to go to the Dodgers, and then he even said the Dodgers don't need me after they got Diaz. Like, other teams need me. We got to go and beat the Dodgers. So let's bring him here, right? But what Joel Sherman said was that the Yankees aren't likely to give a big contract, another high contract, a long-term contract to a pitcher because it's the year before Tarek Skubal's hitting free agency. Now, a normal person would sit there and go, hey, you know what? Yankees are going to be that means the Yankees are going to be all in on Tarek Skubal next year. And could you imagine Cam and Fried and Skubal and Cole? Oh my goodness. That's how that would read to me. But who really thinks the Yankees are going to go into the offseason next year with the highest bid for Tarek Skubal? The guy has a legitimate shot to be going into free agency as a 3-time reigning Cy Young Award winner. He's the best pitcher in baseball. And we're now led to believe in this offseason where the Yankees are clipping coupons to build a roster that they're going to go and have the highest bid for Tarek Skubal in the offseason in 2026. That is probably going to be locked out. I don't see it. I don't see the Yankees chasing Tarek Skubal. Yeah, they'll be interested. I mean, who's not going to be interested in Tarek Skubal? But are they going to really go out there? Are they going to make Tarek Skubal Garrett Cole of 2019? No. Not. If Brian Cashman didn't have such an affinity for Garrett Cole probably wouldn't even be here. He was chasing Garrett Cole for years. Although when he had a chance to trade Miguel Andujar for him, it's too rich for his blood, though, right? Okay, too rich for his blood. The Yankees have to get going here at some point here because because if they're waiting to clip coupons for Cody Bellinger, which is not going to happen, it definitely erases them from Kyle Tucker, who should command more money than Cody Bellinger. And then look at that outfield all of a sudden. Look at how bad that outfield is. Obviously, you have Aaron Judge. Again, the thing that scares you about Aaron Judge is that you don't know when Father Time is gonna catch up to him. And again, Father Time might be he hits 310 next year with 40 home runs instead of hitting 330 with 50 home runs. And again, you could say, okay, 310 with 40 home runs, that's still great. But how are the Yankees going to replace that production? How are the Yankees going to do? How are the Yankees going to be the offensive team that beats up on even bad pitching in the regular season, which is something they always do? How are they even going to be that team if Aaron Judge just goes a notch, like one belt loop below MVP, All-Star, right? Maybe runner-up MVP, like in that realm? How are they going to survive? They can't survive on a normal year when you feel decently enough about their offense with Aaron Judge not being the MVP. Now imagine next year he takes a step back because it's just nature. How are they going to survive? And then you look at Trent Grisham here. What a colossal mistake by the Yankees by offering this guy the qualifying offer. I don't care. Look, man, I want to be wrong. I hope that he has another 30 home run season. And he's very productive for the Yankees this year. But I wasn't a big fan of him last year, even with the 30 home runs. I don't like. I've never been one of these guys that was in love with him defensively. I would not have offered him the qualifying offer. That's just me. Yankees played a game of chicken. Great. The Yankees are telling everyone, oh, he'll replicate that. You better hope so. For $22 million, you better hope so. And then you look over to left field. If Cody Bellinger, now we're assuming Cody Bellinger is not coming back in this conversation. You look over to left field. What are we doing over there? I still think Jason Dominguez can be a good major leaguer, but we don't know. And honestly, at this point, I don't want to wait for his development. It might be harsh, right or wrong, but when I look at this team and I look at the fact that I want to win next year, the Yankees need more of a sure thing than Jason Dominguez in left field. And they're still telling you he can't hit right-handed. That's why there's been reports that they want to bring back Rosario to platoon with Jason Dominguez in left field. You mean to tell me that you think you're going to win a World Series with a platoon of Ahmed Rosario and Jason Dominguez in left field? That's what a championship team does? That's a bad outfield. Well, last year you looked at it, it was really good. Even the year before, Soto and Judge were so great that they eliminated just the complete unwashed, wretched, pimple-ridden, hairy ass that Alex Verdugo was. They were so great that they overrode that. And last year, with the contributions from Grisham and Bellinger and Judge being as great as he was, you had a really good outfield. Now you're asking Grisham to replicate that when he's never done it before in his career. And you want to platoon Ahmed Rosario with Jason Dominguez. That's a championship ball club. I have to laugh. I have to laugh at this. And the funny thing is, the Yankees are so interested in Ahmed Rosario that they can't even lock him up yet. He's not a Yankee. What? Why can't they sign Ahmed Rosario? How hard could that possibly be? So they're going to wait for somebody else to want Ahmed Rosario, and then they're going to be too poor for Ahmed Rosario. I can't wait. Oh, somebody offer Ahmed Rosario $5 million. Too rich for us. Can't afford it. Can't afford $5 million for Ahmed Rosario. Unbelievable, man. You would think that's just do something simple. Do something simple. Bring back Ahmed Rosario. Sign him. Just sign him. He serves so many purposes for this team. And it should not preclude you from doing anything. But he's still out there. You're just waiting for somebody to come and make him an offer that you don't want to match. How the mighty have fallen. We're going to get to, I really hope that we do not get to a point in this offseason where Ahmed Rosario becomes too expensive for the fucking New York Yankees. I might have to pack it in. I might have to actually pack it in. If I'm sitting there reading that the Yankees had to bow out of a bidding war for Ahmed Rosario. You want to talk about things that could actually physically break me? Too rich for Ahmed Rosario becomes too rich for the Yankees' blood. I think somebody in the chat was asking what have the Yankees done this offseason besides Grish. They re-signed Ryan Yarbrough, which I mentioned earlier in the show, which if you take it into its context, is good. He's a good part of your baseball team. Everybody you can't have stars everywhere. You need to have defined roles, and he fills a role for this team. But that's the second biggest thing you've done all offseason, the biggest being Grisham. And you're going to pump out some bullshit that you are a championship contending baseball team right now? We got one more week before Christmas. We have a show next week, and then this show is shut down until after the holidays. I don't want to go into Christmas with the last words that I speak on this program to be how disgusting it is that the Yankees have done absolutely nothing this offseason. And that's where we're headed right now. What are the Yankees actually waiting for? Brian Cashman's like, well, we got a lot of things out there right now, blah, 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 blah. Get aggressive, man. Overpay for something. Are we the only ones that feel the angst here? Are we the only ones that are upset that the Yankees haven't won a world championship since 2009? Because it doesn't seem like anybody in the position of power here, the ones that can actually affect the change on the field by making trades and signing people, care all that much that the Yankees haven't won a world championship since 2009. They go to bed on their comfy pillows and their expensive mattresses, and we're the ones that sit here and get agita and have knots in our chest over the fact his team is not doing anything in this offseason. He's not winning championships. We're the ones that are dealing with this. Which I saw, Jake, I saw your super chat. I will get to in 1 second because I don't want to get off this here, which brings me to I mentioned Boomer earlier in the show. Here's his co-host, Greg Giannotti, earlier today. The Met fans are in shambles right now. And I'm not dancing on them. I'm not, picking a fight with them here, because if I was a Met fan, I'd be upset too right now. That Pete's your guy, and you didn't even engage him, and he left. And that's after Edwin Diaz, another guy y'all loved, left. Another guy y'all loved, Brandon Nimmo, got traded. And now Steve Cohen here is getting gambling licenses and building up Metropolitan Park and worried about his casino. And Met fans are seeing this as, well, is he more focused in on the casinos, or is he focusing on the baseball team? And and Giannotti's like, oh, well, Met fans have to stop with this and or crap. It's like, it's not and or, it's not one or the other. Well, you know what? And this is what people don't understand here. And this is, and Giannotti said this also. He's like, well, what do you think might be more important to a billionaire? The baseball team or this $10 billion park renovation or whatever it is that he's doing over there? Don't you think that, he doesn't live his life to appease you, and all he's thinking about is winning championships? He's got other things on his mind. Let me tell you something here. As a sports fan, as a fan of a team, we don't want to hear that. We don't care about what the owners of the teams have going on in their lives, their other business ventures other than owning the team. And I'll defend the Met fans here. Nobody cares that Steve Cohen wants to go and build a casino. They care about Steve Cohen doing what he promised, and that's building a champion. And he's not done that. And the way the Mets have operated this offseason, it makes you think that Juan Soto wasn't for a championship. It was for a marketing tactic to have a superstar for the next 15 years to put on these casinos, to get people to come out and watch Juan Soto play baseball. I don't blame Met fans for being upset at the way this team is operating right now. Again, their offseason is incomplete. We know that. They can go out there and do a lot of different things. But we as fans have every right to sit there and be concerned about one thing, and that's how that owner operates the baseball team. And we have the same problems here with the Yankees. I don't care what Hal Steinbrenner is doing outside of owning the Yankees. Whatever his outside interests are irrelevant and unimportant to me. I only care about the Yankees and how he's running the Yankees. And he's running the Yankees like a small market team. Oh, I'm poor. I'm poor. Which in the context of major league owners, yeah, he is poor. He really is. I I think he's the 23rd richest owner in baseball. I saw the list the other day. So no wonder why he thinks he's poor, but he's not. Hal Steinbrenner will never have to ask for a handout at a soup kitchen to eat. His kids will not, his children will not have to get Christmas presents from somebody being generous from an angel tree at Walmart. Okay, we don't have to take up collections for Hal Steinbrenner. He can pony up here and sign some players and get this team on the right path here. So when somebody sits there from their high and mighty position saying owners have other worries and they don't live to appease you and they don't only care about championships, I don't fucking care at all what these guys are doing outside of owning their teams. I only care about what they are doing to put a champion on the field. So Met fans have every friggin' right to be pissed off right now at the way the team is being handled and question whether or not Steve Cohen has his head in the game of building them a champion. Just like we have every right to question whether or not Hal Steinbrenner even gives a shit. All right, we got the super chat here from Jake. Thank you, Jake. He says, why won't the Yankees trade for Ketel Marte? If it's true they want young pitching back, why not block the Red Sox offer with a better offer? I don't know. Marte would be great here. Again, change the culture, change the core. That's something they can go and do. The Yankees have the pitching capital here to make trades. Luis Hill just won the Rookie of the Year last year. He's got a long time left, a lot of control left. I like Will Warren more than most. A lot of control. Some will say that he hasn't even found his stride yet. He's still going to come into his own as a major league pitcher. And you have tons of guys in a pipeline. You have 3 or 4 guys you could probably trade in the minor leagues. ERC, Lagrange, name them. These guys are going to have a tough time cracking the rotation with Schlittler and Fried and Cole and Rodon here. Oh, Cole's got this many. Rodon's got this many. What are we going to do? Who cares what the Yankees are going to do in 3 years? We haven't won in 16. Worry about 2026. Cash in and win. Jack, thank you for the super chat. He says, Freddie Peralta's cheap but legit. Him, McGill, Sal Frelick, Isaac Collins, Blake Perkins, and Caleb Durbin would look good in pinstripes. Yankees have been connected to Trevor McGill. So we'll see. Maybe they could swing something there with Milwaukee. We know that is a trade partner for the Yankees. With the Devin Williams trade. Again, do you want to trade for another reliever after last year? I don't know. Once something like that happens, they get a bad, like we just traded for a reliever from Milwaukee and it didn't really work out. Now we're going to go back down that road. All right, let's end the show here. We've been talking about Cody, trying to get on the Cody Bellinger train here for most of the show here, and let's finish it up here. I understand that I like Cody Bellinger more than most, okay? I understand that I'm probably more in the pro Cody Bellinger camp than a lot of Yankee fans are. And that thing that was floating around the internet yesterday about the Yankees are offering 5 and Boris wants 7 and fans are like, well, good, hold firm at 5. Why? If that's the player you covet, why not go to 7 years? If that's the player you really want, why aren't you going to 7 years? I understand as fans that we have this DJ LeMahieu PTSD, but number one, I think that Cody Bellinger is going to age a hell of a lot better than DJ LeMahieu did. Okay, that's number one. And number two, you as a fan are sitting there worried about what the contract is going to look like in years 6 and 7 because, that might be a wasted $60 million and it might keep us from getting somebody that we really need. That's not a you problem. That's a Yankees problem. That's something that the Yankees have conditioned you to believe, that we can't overpay for somebody we want on the and get him here for the good years to pair him with Aaron Judge and make a run at something because it might cost us something down the line here. That's not how the Yankees should operate, and that's not how we as fans should be thinking. We should not care about what years of 6 and 7 of Cody Bellinger should look like if he's what Cody Bellinger was in 2025 through the first 4 or 5 years of the contract, and if that's what it takes to get him here is those extra 2 years, okay? We should not be concerning ourselves with that. But with the way the Yankees have operated has made us concerned with years 6 and 7. Why in years 6 and 7 can we just be like, oh, we'll eat it, or we'll go out there and outspend the mistake that we made because this is something we wanted to do for the previous 5 years? That shouldn't be what fans are thinking about. Oh, I'm holding firm on 5 years. Why? If it takes 7 to get the player, give him 7. The fact that the fans we think this way is criminal. That the Yankees have put this thought process into our heads that we have to limit ourselves for a guy like Cody Bellinger for 5 years because we think the contract will age poorly and it'll keep us from getting guys that we need 5 years from now. First of all, we haven't won in 16 years. Why are we concerned about what's going to happen 6 years from now? That's number one. And number two, we're the Yankees. We're not poor. We can outspend the $30 million that Cody Bellinger might cost and not be a $30 million player. We can definitely outspend that, but the Yankees have conditioned to believe that they can't. So they got to get a coupon for Cody Bellinger. I'm sorry, man. I know, and I get it. Maybe Cody Bellinger's not the guy to go down to die on this hill for. But I like Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger fits this team greatly. And Cody Bellinger is not my only move this offseason. I want Cody Bellinger and I fucking want Bo Bichette on this team. Those should be the two moves the Yankees make for this offense this year. That's what they should be doing. But fans are out here saying, I'm holding firm on 5 for Cody. I'm not paying him 6 years. Why? Okay, you got a little DJ LeMahieu PTSD. I get that. But also, what does it matter? If you want Cody for 5, then you should want Cody for 6. Because the Yankees should be able to say, we'll eat that $30 million and we'll go get somebody, and whatever happens with Cody Bellinger in year 6 and year 7, who cares? We're the Yankees. It honestly, man, like, when we sit here and we spend an hour on this show talking about Bo Bichette and this and that and the other thing, and things never happened. Yeah, I get it. Why? Because the Yankees don't operate in that realm anymore. Okay, but they should. There's no reason not to. There's no reason for the Yankees to not. That this shouldn't be like wishful thinking. This should be things that the fans are realistically expecting, that the Yankees bring in Cody Bellinger and Bo Bichette this offseason. We all know the Yankees like Cody Bellinger. They traded for him last year. They wanted him the year prior, and he went, he got more money more money. It's wild. And then, like yesterday, Yankees are holding firm at 5 for Cody, and fans are like, yeah, let's hold firm for 5. If you like Cody for 5, then you should like him for 6 and 7 as well. Because the Yankees are able, whether or not they want to admit it to you, they are able to eat years 6 and 7 in that contract. But you have PTSD from DJ LeMahieu and the money that he was owed when he was washed up because it kept him from doing things. And the fact that the Yankees you don't really get the sense that the Yankees are big game hunting right now because of money that they have on the books. So you're like, for 5 years while he's still good, and then, I want him off the book so we can go get more players. The Yankees should be able to go get players whenever the hell they want to. The gaslighting that they're poor has to stop. The fact that maybe not the people that listen to NYYU and NYYST, because you guys listen to us, I think you're more in line to think the way we do. But the brainwashing that has happened to this fan base has to stop. You're all out here running around like your brains have been zapped out. Oh, the Yankees are too poor for Cody Bellinger. They want you to believe that. They're not too poor for anybody. Where's the money? Where's the $760 million the Yankees offered to Juan Soto? Where is that? Because if you believe anything that was reported on the day that he signed with the Mets, the Yankees were rolling through that hotel thinking it was done, that he was coming home. You had $760 million for one guy last year. Now you don't have money for Cody Bellinger. It's insane, bro. It is absolutely insane. And somebody in the chat said seven not necessary, don't bid against yourself, which is fine. I get that. Why bid against yourself if you don't have to? But fans saying, I'm standing firm at five is ridiculous. There's no reason for, you know, if you mean to tell me that, Ahmed Rosario, a guy like Ahmed Rosario is walking around saying he wants $20 million, that's when I would say, yeah, you know what? You don't need Ahmed Rosario for $20 million because that's just absolutely stupid. A guy, a platoon role player wanting $20 million for one season. Again, the Yankees gave Trent Grisham $22 million, so anything is freaking possible. But for a guy like Cody Bellinger, who you're willing to pay $30 million for 5 years, what's another 2 years if it gets it done? You're conditioned to believe that the Yankees are going to be poor in those 2 years, and they can't get somebody they need. And we got an older Cody Bellinger out there in left field now that we have to play because we're paying him $30 million. Again, I feel that he will age better than DJ LeMahieu did. But again, even if he doesn't, it shouldn't stop the Yankees from upgrading in that position. And Medina, I agree with you, man. Even if they re-sign Cody, it's just going to be a run back if they don't do anything else. That's why go get Bo Bichette. It rhymes. Go get Bo Bichette. Go get Bo Bichette. Chant it. Chant it in your sleep tonight. Wake up in the morning, and the first thing that pops in your head is me saying, go get Bo Bichette. Go get Bo Bichette. And if you don't want Bo, go get Corey Seager. I don't want Corey because of the injury history and the fact that he's left-handed. But again, he's a big game player. It moves Volpe off a shortstop. And it changes the core of this team. The Yankees could bring in any number of starting pitchers, any number of bullpen guys that are different, and it might even be big names, and it doesn't change what the core of this team is. You need to change the core. When I say the core of the team, I mean the 9 guys that you pencil into the lineup every day. That's where something needs to change. Something different needs to be done here. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I don't know. But you're looking around. Boston's gotten better with the Sonny Gray acquisition. The Blue Jays have gotten better with Dylan Cease, and I'm sure that they're not done yet either. And somebody laughed at me. Did you see his ERA? Yeah, 4.55. He's a 3.88 career. And if you look at him, 1 year he's Cy Young, and next year he's mid. And guess what? He was mid last year, so he's due for a Cy Young caliber year. He logs innings. He makes 32 starts every year. He strikes out 200 guys. So he definitely improves that rotation. Even the Orioles have gotten better, bringing in a closer, bringing in Pete Alonso. And then if you want to look at the irresistible force that is the LA Dodgers, now they got the best closer in baseball. The one flaw that the Dodgers had, they went and fixed. Think about it like this. Last year, Tanner Scott was the most coveted free agent reliever in Major League Baseball. Dodgers threw a ton of money at him, signed him. He stunk last year. They still somehow figured out to win the World Series without him. And what did they do? This year, Edwin Diaz was the most sought after free agent reliever, best reliever probably in all of baseball. And they signed him. They saw a mistake. They fixed it. They didn't say, oh, well, we won 2 straight World Series, whatever. No, they're still trying to win more. This used to be the Yankees. The Yankees used to outspend their mistakes. They don't do that anymore. If they have a mistake, you as the fan have to deal with it. We can't improve because, we got to pay for this guy that sucks now. Instead of just throwing money at the problem and getting somebody else in here. Also, what are the Dodgers not doing? They're not settling. They're not settling back-to-back champions. You know who else used to do that? The New York Yankees used to do that. Remember when they traded for Roger Clemens after being the best team ever? You think the Yankees needed to go out there and acquire the reigning Cy Young Award winner after they were the best team ever? After the 1998 team? No, they didn't have to do that. But they saw Roger Clemens as an upgrade over David Wells, and they made the trade. Now we're looking for coupons for Cody. That's the 2 things here. Go get Bo Bichette and coupons for Cody. But if you need coupons for Cody, you're not going to go get Bo Bichette. Silent nights. No players. That's what the winter meetings was for the Yankees. We're all sitting here, sitting by the Christmas tree, waiting for that little dweeb of an elf, Brian Cashman, to rappel down the chimney with something. And what did he come back with today? A career minor leaguer with a 4 ERA. With an invite to camp. That was their big move. Great. All right, guys. That should be about it for me here. If you've been in the chat all night, thank you so much. Make sure you like this video before you exit and subscribe to NYY Underground. Just a couple of programming notes here. As I said, NYYST will be back here live next Thursday. That is our final show of 2025. We also have a big announcement to make on that show. I know we've done big announcements here. Well, a month or so ago, we announced the show is ending after the season is over in 2026. We have another big announcement that we are going to be making next episode. So please, mark it on your calendars. Next Thursday, we will be here live on NYY Underground. I will have a special co-host to help me make the announcement. A little foreshadowing there, okay? A little teaser to get you guys to tune in. Also, a pet project that I'm going to be working on during the off season, and I think it was Pinu or Binu. I'm sorry again if I butchered your name. You are really the catalyst for this. When you were the one last week in the chat that brought up Rocky was on Peacock, and then we did like 10 minutes on Rocky, and I said to myself, or I might have even said it on the show, I would love to sit here and do, like a Rocky podcast and actually sit down. And I, sometime maybe in January, obviously it's got to be before the season starts. A pet project of mine, a special project that I will be working on is that I will be doing a Rocky podcast. If you follow me on Twitter at Christian_NYYST, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. But I think it is something. It's finally time to do something like that. Rocky, the original movie, is turning 50. Yeah, in 2026. So that's definitely something that another reason why I want to do it. And I'm not sure the format of what it is. If I'm just gonna maybe do a watch along somewhere and break down the movie as it happens, or watch the movie and then come on and record a show and give you like 40 minutes or whatever on the movie, my takes, whatever. But I think it would be a lot of fun. It would break up the off season because God knows the Yankees aren't doing anything. Um, that will be something separate from what we're doing with the baseball stuff with NYYST. So that'll be something separate. So if you're a fan of mine or if you're a fan of Rocky, definitely keep a lookout on that. Again, please follow me on at NYY at Christian_NYYST, and I'll once I make a final decision of when that will start and where it will be airing and everything. You guys can follow along there as well. And again, it's because of everybody, all the support here, not only for NYYST, but NYY Underground as well. All you guys' support, and it make me feel like might be actually something that people would listen to. So it's definitely another part of the reason why I want to do this. So again, thank you guys for all your continued support here of the show. Again, big announcement next week. I'm very excited about it. So make sure you join us here live on NYY Underground. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform on Friday morning, please subscribe there as well. Leave us a 5-star rating and review and tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. I want to thank everybody so much for their continued support. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching episode 505. It's just me, Oos. Good night, guys.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told him last year that I been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that.